Most of us have been taught to make our case with words, explain more, argue better, stack evidence. But in almost every room, the people who command the most respect aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones whose presence does the heavy lifting. The way they move, the way they wait, the way they show up and follow through without speeches, without fanfare. This episode is called 7 Silent Behaviors That Make People Respect You for a Reason. These are not tricks. They're not manipulations. They're practices that over time align your inner steadiness with your outer presence so that people feel it before they hear it. You'll be able to apply these at work, at home, or any place you want your influence to grow. And because respect without ethics is just theater, every behavior we'll cover is grounded in integrity and care. Here's how we'll do it. Each section gives you an explanation of why the behavior matters, a realistic scenario. You can picture a nuanced take so you avoid overdoing it or crossing lines, and a practical action step. You can start today. You'll also get a mid-video recap to lock in learning and a short 7-day challenge to put this into action. And I'm leaving an open loop on purpose. Near the end, I'll share a 2-word mental cue I use to keep my center in high-pressure moments. It's simple, it's silent, and it changes the game. Our thumbnail promise is simple, silent power. If you're ready to earn respect without raising your voice, let's start with the most underused tool in communication, the pause. Explanation. Silence before speech is not empty, it's a signal. The pause says you're processing, not reacting. It slows the room down, reduces the chance you'll say something you'll need to walk back, and protects your credibility. People respect those who don't scramble for the first word, but choose the right one. Scenario. Imagine a team meeting where a thorny question lands in your lap. Everyone turns to you. Instead of filling the space with and well, you take one breath in, one breath out. You scan the table, jot a note, and then speak a simple, organized response. I see 3 options. Here's the upside and risk of each. You didn't talk longer, you talked later and better. The room reads you as thoughtful, not timid. Nuanced interpretation. A pause is not a power move to intimidate, nor is it a blank stare. Overdo it, and you may seem disengaged or evasive. Cultural norms also vary. In some settings, rapid back and forth is a sign of warmth. In others, longer gaps feel normal. The key is intentionality. Your pause is active. You're gathering thoughts, respecting others' input, and signaling care if someone mistakes it. For hesitation, a simple bridge phrase helps. Give me a second. I want to answer this well. Practical action step. Practice a 2-breath rule. Before you answer a question, especially a challenging one, take 2 quiet breaths. Use those breaths to sort your first sentence. If you need time, say, I want to check one detail before I commit. Can I circle back after the meeting? That's a pause that protects your integrity. To build the habit, apply it in low-stakes conversations first, texts, casual chats, even ordering coffee. You're training your nervous system to value clarity over speed. Transition. When you master the pause, you create space. What you fill that space with next matters. The most respected people don't rush to talk. They double down on how they listen. Let's move to the kind of attention that speaks volumes. Explanation. Attentive presence is nonverbal respect. It blends posture, eye contact, and minimal movement to show I'm with you. When someone feels fully seen and heard, they instinctively raise their estimation of you. This isn't flattery, it's gravity. Focus is rare, and rarity draws respect. Scenario, a colleague is venting about a delayed shipment that might tank a client deadline. You don't interrupt. You square your shoulders to them, keep your phone face down and out of reach, angle your torso open, and make natural eye contact, breaking briefly to think, then returning so it doesn't feel like a stare. You nod once when they hit the key point. Without saying much, you've communicated. I'm here. I got it. When you finally speak, sounds like the choke point is the carrier. Want me to try? A local courier? Your words land because your presence prepared the ground. Nuanced interpretation, eye contact, and proximity are culturally nuanced. In some cultures, direct eye contact is respectful. In others, it can be confrontational. The goal is not to lock eyes, but to be lock in. Track the other person's pace and comfort. Avoid the listening face that looks like you're judging. Relax your jaw and soften your brow. If you're neurodivergent or find eye contact draining, try the triangle method. Gently shift gaze between their eyes and mouth or focus on their eyebrow line. The point is presence, not perfection. Practical action step. Adopt the SLANT micro habit. Sit or stand up straight, lean slightly in, ask clarifying questions sparingly, nod once at key points, track with your eyes without staring, combine. This with a no pocket rule during important conversations. Keep your hands visible at your sides or resting on the table to reduce fidgeting. Set a silent intention before conversations. Let me understand first. People feel that. Transition, attentive presence builds trust in the moment, but respect also grows from what you do when the moment ends. The quiet habit that cements your reputation next is simple, unglamorous, and rare. Do what you said you'd do without broadcasting it. Explanation, reliability is silent credibility. When your actions arrive on time, intact, and without fanfare, people lean on you. You don't need to announce your reliability, you demonstrate it through completion. Each micro promise you keep, reply by Friday, send the draft tonight, show up at 8, layers into a durable reputation. Scenario, your manager asks, can you send the numbers by end of day? You say, yes, I'll have them by 4. There's no humble brag, no overpromising. At 3:47, the report arrives, accurate, labeled with a note that highlights one anomaly you double-checked. You don't ping for praise. The next time a high-stakes task pops up, they assign it to you without debate. Respect accrues not from what you said, but from what quietly arrived when you said it would. Nuanced interpretation. Reliability isn't people-pleasing. You don't earn respect by saying yes to everything. You earn it by aligning commitments with capacity. Overcommitting erodes trust because lateness and errors feel like broken promises. Reliability also includes course correction. If a deadline slips, early, proactive communication sustains respect. I'm seeing a blocker with the vendor. I can deliver version A by Friday or full scope by Tuesday, your call. Transparency is a silent behavior too. Practical action step. Run a promise audit every Monday. List current commitments for each. Write a next visible step and a deadline you can meet. If something is at risk, renegotiate now, not later. Use a 2-sentence follow-up template to keep things clean. As promised, here's the deliverable. Note, one-line context or flag. This puts your work in the right place without noise. For personal life, adopt the micro yes rule. only agree to what you can deliver. It's better to say, I can't do Thursday, but I can do a 15-minute call Friday at 10, than to ghost or slip. Transition when you reliably do what you say. People know they can trust your word, but life will still throw heat your way. Deadlines, criticisms, surprises. The next silent behavior separates steady leaders from reactive ones, staying calm when the room is hot. Calm non-reactivity under pressure. Explanation, non-reactivity isn't the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of your response when stress spikes. Your silence, measured breathing, steady posture, unhurried movements signal safety. People respect the person who doesn't escalate a fire. Calm buys you time and options. It also lowers others' defenses, which earns you influence. Scenario, a client calls, upset. This is not what we agreed to. Instead of matching their volume, you ground your feet, inhale slowly, and let your shoulders drop. You say evenly, I'm hearing this isn't matching your expectations. Let's walk through what you needed and what you got. You open the original brief. Your tone stays even when theirs wavers. 10 minutes later, they're no longer attacking. They're collaborating to solve the mismatch. You didn't win by out-arguing. You led by not taking the bait. Nuanced interpretation. Calm is not passivity. There are times to be firm, to set boundaries, to name harm. Non-reactivity doesn't mean smiling through disrespect. It means you refuse to let someone else's nervous system run yours. Also, beware of calm shaming, using composure to belittle others' emotions. True calm holds space. I get why you're upset. Let's get specific so we can fix it. And remember, some environments read quiet as indifference. In those, pair calm with clarity. I care about this. Here's what I'm doing next. Practical action step. Train a 3-step reset. Name, breathe, reframe. Silently name your state. Anger rising. Then take one slow inhale for 4 counts. Exhale for 6. Finally, reframe your role. I'm the thermostat, not the thermometer. For in-person moments, master micro movements. Relax your jaw, unhook your feet, lower your shoulders. These cues tell your body and the room that you're not in fight or flight. In writing, wait 15 minutes before replying to a hot email. Draft it, don't send it. Return with a cooler head and a cleaner outcome. Transition, calm keeps you steady when stakes rise. But there's a deeper foundation that makes calm easier. Preparation. When you've done your homework, you don't need to raise your voice. Your work speaks for you. Quick reset. We've covered 4 of the 7 silent behaviors that make people respect you. The art of the pause, 2 breaths before you speak, so intention beats impulse. Attentive presence and eye contact, posture and focus that make others feel seen. Quiet reliability and follow-through, micro promises kept without fanfare. Calm, non-reactivity under pressure, regulating yourself so you can lead the moment. If you felt a shift just picturing these, that's the point. Respect is often earned in micro moments. And remember the open loop we set earlier, the 2-word mental cue I use to hold center during tense situations is coming up near the end. For now, let's stack the deck in your favor before the moment even arrives, with preparation that quietly projects authority. Explanation, preparation is invisible until it isn't. The people who carry quiet authority aren't winging it. They're rehearsing, pre-checking, and anticipating. You rarely see the prep, you just feel the ease. Respect grows when others can relax because you've already done the thinking. Scenario, you're leading a client demo. Beforehand, you tested the video link in 2 browsers, had the Deck on a USB backup, printed one-page handouts, and listed 3 likely objections with responses. When the client's Wi-Fi hiccups, you share the deck via a quick PDF link and keep going. There's no scrambling, no apology tour. The client registers confidence. If you handle small bumps smoothly, you likely handle big ones the same way. Nuanced interpretation, over-preparation can become avoidance. Tweaking slides forever to dodge. Feedback. The goal isn't perfection, it's readiness. Also, preparation should be proportionate. A 5-minute check-in doesn't need a 20-page brief. And don't confuse preparation with secrecy. If collaboration would improve your output, prepare by looping the right people in early. Quiet. Competence isn't hiding your process, it's shortening everyone's pain later. Practical action step, build a pre-flight checklist for your recurring situations. For meetings, agenda. Sent, objective clear, materials tested. Next steps, template ready. For presentations, tech tested. Stories timed. Backup ready. Key data memorized. For tough conversations, points prioritized. Examples gathered. Possible responses anticipated. Boundary line defined. Practice. Walking the room in your head. Imagine the setting, the flow, the curveballs. 10 minutes of mental rehearsal can save you hours of cleanup. And after each event, debrief what went right, what caught you, what to adjust next time. Transition preparation reduces drama before it starts. But even with great prep, you'll face decisions about where your time and energy go. The next silent behavior protects both, setting boundaries with explanation. Boundaries are respect in action. A clear, calm no tells people you value your time, your energy, and the quality of your yeses. You don't need to deliver a lecture. A brief, neutral decline, paired with an alternative when appropriate, often earns more respect than a stretched thin yes, followed by resentment or poor work. Scenario, a coworker pops in, "Hey, could you take this off my plate? It's just a quick thing." You check your calendar. You make eye contact, keep your tone even, and say, "I can't take that on today. If it can wait until Friday, I can give it proper attention. Otherwise, Sam might be the better fit." You don't over-explain, you don't apologize excessively, and you don't fidget. The coworker may push once. You repeat calmly, "I'm at capacity today." They move on. Over time, your quiet no trains others to approach you with clarity and respect. Nuanced interpretation. Boundaries aren't walls. A blanket no to everything isolates you. A porous yes to everything drains you. Context matters. If your boss is in crisis or your teammate covered for you last week, flexibility might be the respectful move. Delivery matters too. A tight jaw, a scoff, or a dramatic sigh can turn a boundary into a slap. Your goal is firm and kind, and be aware of power. Dynamics. Some environments punish no. In those, reframe, "Here's what I can do by date." For the rest, we'll need to adjust scope or timing. Practical action step. Use the boundaries in a box script, 10 words or fewer, neutral tone, optional. Alternative, "I can't do that today." "I can," alternative, "by time." Pair it with physical signals, sit or stand tall, shoulders relaxed, hands still. Practice in low-stakes contexts, decline and upsell, pass on and invite you don't want, say no to an extra task when your plate is full. Each quiet no strengthens your yes. If you struggle, write a policy for yourself. 2 big projects max. No meetings after 5, 24-hour. response time on non-urgent asks. Policies make no personal, not personal. Transition, boundaries guard your capacity. With that capacity protected, you can practice the final behavior that quietly elevates you in any room, generosity that doesn't need a spotlight, invisible generosity and giving credit. Explanation, generosity earns respect when it's clean, given freely, without theatrics, and without keeping score. Quiet helpers create gravity. They make rooms better by making people better. When you give credit, share resources, or smooth someone's path without a megaphone, people trust you. More. That trust compounds. Scenario: you notice a junior teammate found a clever workaround for a recurring problem. Before the team meeting, you send your manager a short note. FYI, Maya's solution cut our processing time in half. Worth a quick shout out. In the meeting, when the topic surfaces, you say, Maya led the fix. Here. No long speech, just a clean, public handoff. Later, you forward her resume to a mentor who can help her grow. You never mention it to Maya, you just keep being the person who looks out for people. Over time, others advocate for you when you're not in the room because you've been doing that for them. Nuanced interpretation. Generosity has edges. If you give to be liked, you'll overgive and resent. If you give to control, it's not generosity, it's leverage. Quiet generosity is sustainable because it has boundaries and doesn't erase you. It also includes self-respect. Don't hide your own work. Share credit generously and own your contribution. Factually, Maya cracked the process. I integrated it into the client workflow. That's clean. Practical action step. Adopt a one lift a week habit. Every week, do one anonymous or low-profile act that helps someone. A resource list, a warm intro, a fix for an annoying process, a clear credit in a meeting. Track it privately to keep yourself honest. Also, practice the two-beat credit move in. Meetings, when praised, expand the circle. Thanks. The ops team made the rollout smooth, and then pivot to next steps. Your humility isn't a performance, it's a pattern. Transition, you now have 7 quiet levers: pause, presence, reliability, calm, preparation, boundaries, and generosity. Woven together, they create the kind of person people respect instinctively. Before we close, let's turn this into a week-long practice and finally resolve that open. Loop with the 2-word mental cue that helps you hold center when it matters most.